I am walking alone across the African savanna at dawn, with dry grass brushing my boots and the air heavy with heat that is already building. The landscape feels normal and quiet, scattered acacia trees standing still under a pale sky. I stop when I notice broken branches and fresh bark torn from a large tree ahead of me. The damage looks recent, unnatural, and out of place in the calm environment. As I get closer, I hear deep, strained breathing cutting through the silence. I raise my eyes and freeze when I see an adult elephant trapped high above the ground. The massive elephant is standing on top of a thick fallen tree that is wedged into another tree, forming an unstable platform. The elephant's legs are stiff and spread wide, struggling to balance its enormous weight on the narrow trunk. The elephant's skin is dusty and scratched, and its posture shows clear exhaustion and fear. I realize the elephant climbed or was forced onto the fallen tree, and cannot climb down without falling. The height is dangerous, and a single wrong movement could cause the elephant to crash violently to the ground. The elephant shifts slightly, and the tree creaks under the pressure of its weight. I remain still, watching the elephant's ears flap slowly, trying to cool its overheated body. The elephant lowers its head toward me, its eyes wide and alert, locking onto my presence. There is no sound of aggression, only desperation and a silent request for help. I take a careful step forward, keeping my body visible and calm. The elephant lifts one foot and pulls it back quickly, showing pain and instability. I understand that time is already working against both of us. The sun continues to rise, the heat increasing, the wood drying and weakening. I stand there, fully aware that I am now part of this moment and walking away is no longer an option. I stay where I am, feeling the heat press harder against my skin as the morning advances. The adult elephant remains trapped high above the ground on the unstable tree structure, its breathing heavy and uneven. I notice the fallen tree shifting slightly, the angle changing as the wood dries and loses strength. Small fragments of bark fall to the ground, landing near my feet and confirming that the structure is failing. The elephant tries to adjust its stance, but every movement makes the situation more dangerous. One of the elephant's legs trembles uncontrollably, struggling to support its immense weight. I see dust shake loose from the tree as the elephant shifts again. The height becomes more frightening with each second, making a fall almost certainly fatal. The sun climbs higher, and the elephant's skin glistens with sweat and dust. I realize dehydration is becoming another threat, layered onto the risk of falling. The elephant's ears flap faster now, showing stress and overheating. I scan the area and understand how isolated this location truly is. There are no nearby roads, no visible vehicles, and no immediate help. I feel the limits of my own strength and knowledge in front of such a massive animal. I step carefully around the base of the tree, testing the ground and searching for options. The fallen trunk creaks again, louder this time, and I freeze. The elephant reacts by stiffening completely, afraid to move at all. I understand that panic could cause the elephant to jump or collapse the structure. Every second stretches longer as the danger stacks higher. I know that waiting too long will only reduce the chances of saving the elephant. I breathe slowly, forcing myself to think clearly under pressure. I accept that I cannot solve this alone and that professional help is now essential. I move a safe distance away from the tree and reach for my communication device with steady hands. I send a clear emergency signal, reporting an adult elephant trapped high above the ground on a fallen tree in the African savanna. I remain within sight of the elephant, careful not to disappear from its view. The elephant keeps its body rigid, eyes fixed on me, still afraid to move. After what feels like a long wait, I notice distant movement across the savanna. A professional wildlife rescue team approaches in off-road vehicles, moving slowly to avoid startling the elephant. The rescuers wear protective gear and communicate with precise hand signals. They stop at a controlled distance and carefully assess the unstable tree structure. I guide them with gestures, pointing to the fallen trunk wedged into the standing tree. One rescuer prepares heavy-duty straps and ropes designed for large animal rescues. Another rescuer examines the ground below, planning a safe descent path. They work methodically, aware that sudden actions could trigger a fatal fall. A thick safety rope is secured around the elephant's body to prevent slipping. The team stabilizes the fallen tree using additional support lines anchored to nearby trees. The elephant remains tense but begins to slow its breathing slightly. I stay visible and calm, standing where the elephant can still see me. The rescuers signal that everything is ready for the critical moment. The plan is simple: stabilize, guide, and reduce the height step by step. Everyone freezes for a moment, waiting for the right timing. I nod, understanding that this is the point of no return. The signal is given, and the rescuers apply controlled tension to the ropes at the same time. The fallen tree supporting the elephant shifts, lowering by a small but terrifying margin. The adult elephant reacts instantly, its body swaying as the structure changes beneath it. For a split second, the elephant loses balance on top of the tree. The ropes tighten sharply, stopping a full collapse just before it happens. Dust explodes into the air as the wood cracks loudly under stress. My heart races as I see how close the elephant is to falling. The elephant panics and attempts to step forward, increasing the danger. A rescuer immediately signals to halt all movement. Everything stops again, frozen in a fragile balance. The elephant stands trembling on top of the tree, one leg partially slipping. I see that forcing movement now would cause a fatal fall. I raise my hand and signal to change the approach. The team quickly adjusts, shifting rope angles to support the elephant's weight differently. Slowly, the pressure redistributes, and the fallen tree stabilizes again. The elephant regains a fraction of balance, enough to stop sliding. Everyone moves in perfect coordination, millimeter by millimeter. The height reduces slightly as the tree lowers another controlled step. The elephant's hooves finally find a wider, more stable surface. I realize the worst moment has passed, but only because the right decision was made at the last possible second. With the structure stabilized, the rescuers begin the final descent with extreme care. The fallen tree lowers gradually until the elephant's front legs reach solid ground. The elephant hesitates, still afraid, then slowly shifts its weight downward. The ropes guide the movement, preventing any sudden drop. One by one, the elephant's legs leave the tree and touch the earth again. The massive body settles onto the ground, shaking the soil, but remaining controlled. The elephant stands still for a long moment, adjusting to the feeling of safety. Dust rises around its feet as it regains full balance. The rescue team slowly releases tension from the ropes. The fallen tree is now empty, no longer bearing the elephant's weight. The elephant lifts its head, ears spreading wide, breathing deep and steady. I remain where I am, visible, calm, and silent. The elephant turns its body away from the tree, completely free. For a brief moment, the elephant looks back in my direction. There is no fear now, only awareness. The elephant takes a slow step forward, then another. It moves away from the rescue site, returning to the open savanna. The rescue team watches without moving, giving space. I feel the tension leave my body as the danger finally ends. The elephant disappears into the landscape, alive, unharmed, and free.